আসসালামু আলাইকুম সবাইকে। আজকে আমরা আমাদের লাস্ট সেশন, লাস্ট প্যানেলে এসে পড়েছি আমাদের বাংলাদেশ ইউথ স্কিলস ফেস্ট 2020 এবং আমাদের সফট লঞ্চিং হচ্ছে ইন্সপায়ারিং বাংলাদেশের যে আমাদের ওয়েব পোর্টাল, ওটার আমাদের আজকে একটা সফট লঞ্চিং হচ্ছে। এবং আমাদের যে আজকের লাস্ট টপিক, এটার টপিকটা খুব ইন্টারেস্টিং, যেহেতু আজকে ওয়ার্ল্ড ইউথ স্কিলস ডে এবং আমরা একটি প্যান্ডেমিকের মধ্যে আছি। সো ইটস রিয়েলি ইম্পর্টেন্ট টু নো দ্য ইনোভেশন অফ ইন বিজনেস after pandemic and the sustainability as well. So আমি একে একে সবাইকে আমাদের প্যানেলে ইনভাইট করার জন্য বলছি। আমরা সবাইকে কি প্যানেলে ইনভাইট করতে পারি? জি প্লিজ। আসসালামু আলাইকুম সবাইকে। আমি একটু ইন্ট্রো করিয়ে দিচ্ছি সবার সাথে। আজকে আমাদের টপিক হচ্ছে ইনোভেশন ইন বিজনেস সাস্টেনেবিলিটি ডিউরিং প্যান্ডেমিক ডেজ, এবং আমাদের সাথে আজকে কানেক্ট হয়েছে ইউএসএ থেকে মিস্টার মাহদী জামান অপু। আমাদের সাথে আছে ফর্মার আমাদের এনএসডিএ ডিরেক্টর মিস্টার ফারুক হোসাইন। আমাদের সাথে আছে সৈয়দ আলমাস কবির, প্রেসিডেন্ট অফ বেসিস, and আমাদের সাথে আছে মোস্তাফিজুর রহমান। উনি আছেন হচ্ছে একটি ট্রেড ইনভেস্টমেন্ট এবং আমাদের বেশ কিছু ইনভেস্টমেন্ট রিলেটেড, এডুকেশন রিলেটেড ইন্টারন্যাশনাল কাজ নিয়ে থাকেন। সো সবাইকে আমি ওয়েলকাম জানাচ্ছি আজকের প্যানেলে। আমরা যেহেতু আজকে কথা বলতে চাচ্ছি ইনোভেশন ইন বিজনেস সাস্টেনেবিলিটি আফটার প্যান্ডেমিক, সো আমি শুরুর দিকে চলে যাব হচ্ছে আমাদের মাহাদি ভাইয়ের কাছে, টু নো মোর অ্যাবাউট what you are thinking about this situation after this pandemic. আপনি যদি একটু বলেন।
Thank you. I'm Mahdee Zaman. I work for Amazon Web Services. বাংলাদেশের জন্য আমাদের অবশ্যই প্রাণ কাঁদে সব সময়। But again, very nice seeing all the panelists, Almas bhai, Faruque bhai, Mostafiz bhai, and Imran, thank you for organizing it. So what we do see, the pandemic situation, while this is a dire, a lot of people, আমরা অনেকের মানে হেলথ এবং স্বাস্থ্য নিয়ে সমস্যা হচ্ছে, আমরা জানি যে অনেকে মারা যাচ্ছেন। So there are dire situation, as well as we're seeing a lot of job is being lost. তার মানে একটা ম্যাসিভ আমরা একটা ডিসরাপশনের মধ্যে আছি। So this disruption is not going to go away after the pandemic. So we need to get through and become the part of new normal and prepare ourselves and accelerate to that. Essentially, আমরা যেমন বলি যে বিজনেস ট্রান্সফরমেশন দরকার, আমাদের এখানে পার্সোনাল একটা ট্রান্সফরমেশন দরকার, and that transformation is part of this innovation. I do see that again. I come from the তথ্য প্রযুক্তি side, IT side of the world. So I do see that the IT or information technology is going to be the vehicle that would take us or accelerate the journey to move us to the next level of it, because we're in the fourth industrial revolution. Ebong IT would actually absolutely be the acceleration for the business, for the economy, for the skills that is going to be required, and also is going to be essentially accelerating all the innovation that is going to be really needed going forward during pandemic and post-pandemic.
Amazing. And we have got another guest from all the way from India. He is none other than Mr. Abhishek K, as the founder and CEO of fundingadda.com. So hello Abhishek, in our live stream to talk about World Youth Skills Day 2020, and the event of this the topic of this panel is innovation in business sustainability during pandemic days. So welcome to our panel. Now I will get back to Mr. Almas Kabir to know more about the situation the technological company are facing right now, and what are the strategy you are forming and strategizing to to come up with more stronger. What's your opinion on that, Almas bhai? All yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello to everybody. Well, as you know that during the pandemic time, in the last almost 4 months, during the lockdown time, most of the businesses are shut down. They really cannot operate, mainly because the government had mandated to shut down all the offices and asked everybody to stay at home. But during this period, we have seen the use of technology, actually the surge of the usage of various kind of technologies, especially the communication technologies like internet. We have been using the internet for doing meetings. We are using internet for our banking. The government is using the internet for their approving files. They have the special ERP system. We are streaming Netflix and watching movies during the nighttime for our entertainment. We are buying online from online shops. So we have been very much dependent on the technology during this lockdown period. And those companies who could have taken or exploited exploited technology, they are actually doing good. They are doing well during this pandemic time. Some of them have been innovative. Some of them have pivoted their businesses, and such as we have seen that many e-commerce merchants who were into selling in electronics or fashion items, clothings, they started selling medicines, or they started selling groceries. So a little bit of pivoting. We have seen food delivery services. They started delivering other things like groceries, or they started or medicines. So these are like pivoting, and some innovation were used. But in all these cases, we have seen that technology was the main ingredient. So during the lockdown, if I just say in general, the regular IT companies, the software companies, and the IT-enabled services companies, they have suffered because they are used to give support to other industries, because the other industries are shut down. So nobody is taking services from them. Nobody is buying software or IT-enabled services. Similarly, those companies who used to export services, they lost their orders. So overall situation of the industry, if you ask, it is not very good, very encouraging. But among those few companies, few types of businesses, they excelled and they prospered because they made some innovations, or they made some changes in their strategies.
Right. Excellent. I'll come back to you again, and now I'll get back to Mr. Faruque Hossain, who is the current policy procurement consultant from World Bank, and he's also the former executive chairman of NSDA. So I would like to know more about what policy you guys are developing in terms of innovation in the future business sustainability. What will be your take on that? Over to you, Mr. Faruque. We can't hear you, basically.
Oh, sorry, it was unmute. Okay.
Yes.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you, moderator, and all other discussions today present here. Actually, today we are observing World Youth Skills Day. So focusing the class of the citizens who are youth. And we know that the total population of the world comprises 1/3 are the youth generations, and also in our country we have 35% citizens are youth,
right.
And the about 4 crore people having age limit from 15 to 29 years. So actually, world as well as Bangladesh is on the hands of the youth generations. Bangladesh government actually always focuses on youth, but it is related to the demand of the industries. And Bangladesh government is very much concerned to develop the skill of the youth generation. But we have a mixed structure of youths. Some youth are having no education. Some are just having a partial education. And some are educated, but without having any skill. So they are having only general education.
Right.
So all the classes of youth is the focus today. So what we should do for home, the youths who have no education, we have to employ them, or we have to support them to take self-employment. And
Right.
the generations, the student classes, those who have partial education, we have to offer them technical or vocational or skill training, technical vocational education or skill training. And we have to offer the students, those who are generally educated, they should also have any area of skill to become employed or to become a self-employment generating activities. So there are actually various types of programs or strategy should be available within the government. So government is
Right.
very much aware about it, and now the government have the national market and international market. So
Right.
so the three things here government has taken. One is to skill up the half-educated or uneducated youngs. Government has created many institutions to offer them skill training. Now the National Skills Development Authority is working to formulate the policy to ensure the quality perspective, and also to give the certification to the young or to the youth people, those who are going to take one skill in any one area. So
Right.
they are going to be prepared for the national market and for the international market. And Ministry of Education is also having plan to integrate the skill education with the general education. So general curriculum is going to be embedded with some skill areas, so that the students, those who have general curriculum, they will have at least one skill area, so that after getting off from the institutions, they can easily employ it in any industries.
Right.
Because without the fulfilling capacity of the industry's demand, they don't have any capacity to involve in any industries. So now the new challenges is that the business is going to be changed. Fourth industrial revolutions, business strategy is going to be changed. New technology is coming to be available, and plus the situation of COVID-19. So the
Right.
present situation and the future situation, COVID will never be end, as I think. So we have to take preparation. Which skills actually is the present demand of the industries, and which skill is really easier to offer the youth generations. Now we are going to focus the ICT skills. There are many ICT skills. So it is the time to identify the appropriate skills related to ICT and offer the youths, those who are going to be employed, those who are going to be executive or any area, so that they should have someone skilled training. And government is actually prepared, already prepared with the policy by NSDA, and also have the startup company limited to provide the capital for the self entrepreneurship. And the third one is the human resources development company under finance division, to offer the support to the skill training institutions, so that the training institutions can overcome the scarcity of their capacity, and to offer the skill training properly to the youth generations.
Thank you, Mr. Faruque, for your opening remarks. And I will go back to Mr. Mostafizur Rahamn, who is a specialist on international trade, investment, and education. Like we have seen, like there are so many kindergarten schools right now in Bangladesh they're closing down. So what will be their business sustainability strategy for the education sector, those who are running privately? What will be their takes on that, and they can planning for the future? What do you think about it, Mr. Mustafiz?
Thank you very much, Imran. Look, let me give you a little bit of background who I am. I work for a Slim government, and I'm the marketing specialist, and I'm leading the South Asian team for skill development. So I was having a problem hearing all of you know what's going on with my connection today, but all I understand is how how we need to scale the huge youth popularity in Bangladesh. If you look at the 49% of the total population in Bangladesh is below 24. So if you look at the size of population in Bangladesh, you definitely need to scale up. If we look at our neighboring country, India, some of the country who are quite successful economically only because of they skill their manpower. So other than scaling up, other than set a skill set for the national youth, you can't move forward and you can't see the growth of economy of your country. আমার কাছে মনে হয়েছে what I feel like that Bangladesh do have tons of opportunity to skill up the huge number of youth in the country. আজকে অনেকেই প্যানেলে অনেক ভালো ভালো the expert is in here, so they'll talk about more broad way. I will bring down only 2 or 3 areas. If we look at one of the biggest source of economic revenues coming from the people who are working overseas. So if you look at before COVID, what happened during COVID and post-COVID? If I look at the whole picture, after the post-COVID, COVID এর পরে, the laborers who got back from the overseas, what's going to happen with these people? How are we going to train these people? How are we going to place these people into economy so that they can add value in the economy? আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে যে this is a really good lesson for us. COVID is scary, I understand, but COVID is actually teaching us, giving us a lesson. What should this country look at and how they need to skill up the huge popularity that we have and we can train them. আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে government should look at it very seriously. And I think every problem do have the solution as well. The problem that we have, now we identified what are the areas that we have problem in our country, and we can actually skill and gap that problem and skill up the people so that they can actually add value in the economy. আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে skill development is one major area that we should look at. I must thank ICT.
Right.
Recently they launched the online portal for education, which is a big success, I should say. Amader ICT is doing really good, but the problem is if you don't skill up your system, the people, they can't add value. আমাদের কাছে যেটা মনে হচ্ছে the parents always think about ওরা intermediate শেষ করবে, then they'll get into an university and they'll do undergrad and masters. That's not the case anymore for this country anymore. If you look at some of the multinationals like telecom, banks, all the industry who invested in the market, there are a lot of people are coming from India, Sri Lanka and working here. And they're not having a master degree. They all have a 1-year diploma courses on something and they're working here. So we can actually fill that gap. We can stop these people coming to our country and support the industry. Look, a garment factory lost their order ওটা 5 million, just $500 একটা ছোট বাটন তারা চায়না থেকে ইম্পোর্ট করতে পারেনি. So
Right.
to make the button, you don't need to have a PhD people to do it. I mean, you need to skill up, plus 8-9 pass করার পরে, you can bring those people into a skill program, you skill up your popularity and you can put them in the industry. We don't need to worry about it. Look at how many people are working in Middle Eastern country and Eastern Asian countries. I mean, they don't need to go out of the country for working. That's fine. We're getting money out of it. But other country, actually, they're coming here and working and taking all our money out of our country. So
Right.
what's the point of having all the PhD and doctorate people in our country, even if they can't add value in the economy in the broader level? আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে যে frontline industry যেগুলি আছে, like garment and ceramic and other textiles, footwear, এদের backward linkage industry develop করতে হবে by providing a proper skill training to support the frontliner exporter in the country.
Thank
So
you.
I think that's one best way to do it. And
Right.
আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে যে বাংলাদেশের technical and vocational education system is
Right.
in mess, and I have so many department is controlling the one single area, so they need to simplify. And our actual problem হচ্ছে we have to build our image globally. So people, if you look at the other people, when they think about it, look at, if I really want to go to Bangladesh, what I'll get out of my investment. So let us have a very friendly, very prospective and very
Right.
skilled manpower so that we can go back and tell them, you know what, we have a skilled manpower. Our investment is friendly if you invest there, so that they'll encourage to come to Bangladesh. Unless if you don't see the foreign direct investment coming to this market, you can't actually look at the bigger picture of economic growth.
Right. Thank you, Tushar bhai, for your wonderful speech. And now I'll go back to our guest from India, Mr. Abhishek K. He's also the founder and CEO of fundingadda.com, and along with the representative of Delhi, right? So I would like to know more about yourself,
Yeah.
Abhishek, and what are you doing in terms of funding, and what will be the future strategy, and what are the strategy India is following right now to be sustainable in terms of this COVID situation. So Abhishek, all yours.
Yeah, thanks for Imran. First of all, I would like to thank, and it's very really delightful to have all of you guys on the board. And I got really a good session out here, and the good words from the people from Bangladesh. So the thing is that, like, what we do as fundingadda.com, we help startups, the founders, the young enthusiastic people of India, those who want to come up with great ideas. And obviously, as you know, it is very important that youth plays a important role in any economy of any country. So we started Funding Adda in 2016, and we are from then we are starting helping startups basically for their funding, for their mentoring part, and um, basically preparing them to get into the investments. Actually,
Right.
that's the whole idea. And in order to that, I joined Germany, which is obviously a global community for the startups where startups get investors and mentors, and they can scale up their startup to the next level. That's the whole idea of Dudash and Funding Adda. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Abhishek, for your for the overview on Dudash and the funding adda. Now I'll go back to Almas Bhai to know more about the planning, the upcoming planning of our ICT industry, and basis is like helping the members. Like, what will be the upcoming strategies for them? As a president, you are thinking about it.
Sure. Thank you. As you know that the government and the private industry, like basis, we are all in concert. We are trying to develop the skills, especially the ICT skills of the youth. Government has taken a number of projects to train these young people. You see, the main problem in Bangladesh is, and it is actually, this problem can be found in any other countries as well, many other countries as well. There is a big gap between the academia and the industry. So even though we churn out like about 22,000 people every year, graduates every year in IT or engineering related subjects, they when they graduate, they might have the knowledge, they might have the degree, but they are not employable because they do not have the skill. So there's this, gap between the academia and the industry, and this gap has been there for a long time. And we have been trying, even from basis, to talk to the universities, to talk to the University Grant Commission, so that we can reduce this gap. Our suggestions was that the main suggestion was that in the last year of the fourth year of their graduation undergraduate studies, they must learn the real life the hands-on skills, such as they are taught about database, but they are not taught about how to use the Oracle, so something like this. So this kind of, or a student must go through a 3 months to 6 months of internship before they can graduate, so that they become employable. So this is one thing that we are still working on it. But apart from that, what is happening now, that when the students are graduating, so they must go through a training for at least 3 months to 6 months before they become employable, because they need that skill. So for that reason, the government has taken, as I was saying earlier, the government has taken several projects. BASIS also has a training institute called BASIS Institute of Technology and Management, BITM. And through BITM, we are also providing these kind of trainings. Now, one thing is very, very important, and that is, as you said, what is the current strategy? The current strategy is to train these youth in the trending technologies, not in the traditional technologies. Well, there are some soft skill to be trained, English language to be trained, some interpersonal skills. As I said, the soft skills, they are there. But instead of teaching them, age-old PHP and HTML, all those things, we are now more focusing on the trending technologies like IoT, like augmented reality, like blockchain, virtual reality, all these artificial intelligence, all these kind of new technologies. So this is the new strategy that we have taken, and just last week we have started a new training course for 5,000 students, not students really, 5,000 youth who might have lost employment during the lockdown, during the pandemic period, and these 5,000 people will be trained online through Coursera. You know the Coursera online tool. So the government has provided 5,000 free complimentary username and password for 5,000 trainees, and we have chosen the courses for them. And all these courses, as I said, are to tackle the fourth industrial revolution and those trending technologies.
Right,
So
right.
this is a new strategy. We also have taken another strategy for training up the women, because we really need more and more women into this IT industry, because we believe that IT industry is the very much ideal industry for women in a country like ours, in a society like ours, because in our society, as you know, a woman has lots of obligations at home. A woman is a homemaker also. She has obligations to look after the children. So ICT is one industry where a woman can actually work from home, and this lockdown period has proven that working from home can be very, very productive. So
Right.
this is one reason that we are trying to train up women exclusively, and trying to bring them in the ICT industry so that they can come here, build up a career, or become an entrepreneur themselves.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Almas bhai, for revealing the strategy for our industry, for the ICT industry. আমাদের সাথে connected হয়েছে Mr. Raj Imtiaz. I guess Raj bhai is connected from Portugal, right?
হ্যাঁ, আমি Portugal for the time being.
All right, all right. So welcome Raj bhai in our show, the Bangladesh Youth Skills Fest 2020, the last session where we are talking about the future innovation and sustainability for the business. Now we'll get back to Mr. Mahdee Zaman Opu to know more about the trending technologies for upcoming days. Right now, everyone is busy with all those old stuff and things, and we are not concerned. We need to be more focused about fourth IR, like fourth industrial revolution. So what will be your take on that, Mahdee bhai?
Thank you. I think Almas bhai amare properly set kore disen. He set me up very well. So thank you, Almas bhai, for that to begin with. And I was hearing a lot of things. I mean, the conversation we're talking about, innovation. Is that right? So what's happening with the trending technology? Let's talk about those things. And again, we hear that sometimes in a big term, and now we need to get it down actually what people can do, and people can be prepared with the right skill. I mean, we also heard quite a bit of time the gap of a workforce readiness, essentially. It's not, we used to talk about people have a gap from the school or the colleges or the universities into the workforce. But I do feel like it's always readiness. You need, especially if you're in IT, in our company, we call it always boarding versus onboarding, because you always need these skills. Now, what are those things? The trending technologies are fundamentally cloud-based. So without a question, it has to be virtual. So one of the big things that we have noticed through the pandemic is that everybody, if you have not done so, people are moving and aggressively moving to cloud, because they cannot go to the data center. Even if they go to the data center, they cannot enter because people are not allowing them to enter. And not only that, you could have done some stuff physically. Everything physical done is you're kind of like not able to do. So there are massive and the large cloud providers, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Alibaba is trending as well. So, if you look at those technology elements, this is the IT skill and the IT skill set that is going to be fundamental needed. I would say that second year onward into any colleges, even you might want to start back in high school, because we see high school students are doing programming languages. We see people are playing with the robots and IoTs and building stuff. So let's break it down to what are the methods, what are the things they need to do. First and foremost, they need to be very well versed into cloud. Cloud by itself is now became diverse and more mature, meaning that you need to know security, you need to know redundancy, you need to know all these things. So you gotta know those technology components. Then you need to know the business elements to it too, because of the fact that you can start with cloud and the cost can be exuberant amount, literally, and I can give you example for that, a lot of those. However, at the same time, as we're talking about the trending technologies, we should not be starting with a virtual machine or a virtual private server and do stuff. Those are more or less a legacy way of doing things. We need to go to serverless and immediate deployment of it. Before, if I use technology, I would take 6 months, 1 year, or 3 months to deploy my application. I have an idea, I wanted to deploy it, I put it in a requirement document and everybody understands, we go back and forth and we deploy. 3 months, I get a major release. 3 months later, another release. You know, it's happening today in hourly basis. Every hour, I have an idea. I'm not even writing the document. I'm just putting in a board in a yellow sticky note you can see in my back. And you deploy it, you take it off, you deploy another one. It's instantaneous and real time. So in the skill development side, and if I go again to the steps, first, you got to know the cloud. You got to know all those skill set, what it is about, what is that virtual world, what I need to do. Then you got to know the newer technologies such as serverless. In AWS terms, it's called Lambda. In the Microsoft and Google terms, it's called functions. So you need to know some of those technologies that can be deployed immediately. Now, what are the business benefit to that? Business value number one is the agility and the innovation at a scale. You can scale. Before you had a server, I need to scale, I need to add another server. You're not doing any of the stuff. You don't even have time to do that. You're in a pandemic, you're in disrupt, do it right away. You can scale to millions of stuff without even worrying or thinking about that. That's number one thing. Number two thing, which is even more important, I feel like, there is 0 to none cost for at least first 12 months while you are acquiring your business or you are validating that concept or idea that you have. So, you know, we have the funding for innovation. If typically what I have seen, and I participate with some of them, if you have anchor-based, meaning boat anchor, something that is not letting you go forward type of technology, you know, they are not they're not high value. You need machine learning, you need IoT, you need all those things, and you need to deploy every idea that you have right away, validate. If it scale out, fantastic, let it grow. If it doesn't, just shut it down, go to the next one. To do that, you just have to have those emerging technologies such as everything serverless everything. Because you don't want to worry about any of the underlying technologies. You just wanted to deploy your business concept and business value. So, and the cost, again, maps properly. Most of the time, very minimal cost, 95% reduction of your cost. So this time is very important. So it gives our youth and our professionals within IT or within business community a tremendous amount of benefit to go after those. So let me summarize that. You do need to know the virtual world. You need to know the cloud computing. You need to know the technology itself, and you need to know the business value and business proposition, how you can deploy those things. And the agility and the cost benefit would be immediate.
Right. Thank you, Mahdee bhai, for your wonderful planning about the upcoming technology in recent days. I will get back to Mr. Imtiaz, all the way from Portugal, to know more about the innovation in upcoming business days after the COVID situation. What do you think about it?
Sure. So, so interesting question. And for everyone's benefit, I worked on Wall Street for 15 years, and then now I work. Still, I cover the financial industry, but my company also uses data-driven analysis. So we have a big software angle. And one thing I would say is I was talking to the founder of a VC firm a few months ago, and he said that I think what's happening this year, the COVID world, this COVID pandemic, this is the biggest shift. This will cause the biggest shift in the global economy in the world in the last 50 years. So we think about 2008, we think about that was a big deal. But what COVID is doing is it's fundamentally changing human behavior. So to give you an example, my mom, who is 60 plus years old, has never used Amazon. And now, because of COVID, she has started to use Amazon and Amazon deliveries and groceries. And now that she sees it's so easy, I could see that even in a normalized world, she will continue to use Amazon. And you see these changes in the stock market. So if you see the broader market, you see that the market went down and then came back up, and you say why? Well, you see that the market return, the performance is driven by these, we call it the COVID stocks, right? The stocks that will benefit from COVID, whether that's Amazon and Slacks and Citrix, the work from home stocks. So some of the big changes that you're all already aware of. So one is people are working from home, and what we're seeing is that it is working. So 6 months ago, if you talk to an investment banker or a trader, they would have said, well, you cannot run a global investment bank from home. You need 50, 60, 70,000 people in, you need them in different offices. And banks are now showing that deals are getting done. I've done a number of deals, multi-$100 million to $1 billion deals from home. Investors are in their home office and they're working. I know trading teams, they have platforms where they have a video channel going on and they're talking to all the other traders at the same time, in real time, just like they would at home. And so more people will work from home. It's not a question of whether this will happen. It's a question of what percentage of the people will do this. That means that there will be opportunities for innovation. I mean, look at Zoom, for example, and how they have grown, but also have helped companies. And so opportunities there. Think about the second and third order derivative impact of that. Does that impact real estate? What happens to commercial real estate in big cities, in the US, for example, in the Western world? If big companies don't need big office spaces, then what happens to real estate prices? And what does that do to, what are the opportunities and what are the challenges? If businesses are working from home and we don't need as many face-to-face meetings, even a 10 or 20% reduction will really hurt, for example, airlines, right? So the world is going to change and is going to change massively. And there will be amazing opportunities, and technology is what's going to really be the biggest beneficiary. And I think for a company like Bangladesh, for a country like Bangladesh, this is, I was telling a friend of mine that it's short-term or medium-term pain, but long-term, just phenomenal opportunities for us. Because if you build a world-class product and software in Bangladesh, you can deploy it anywhere, right? No one cares if Zoom is built in Bangladesh or in the US, right? And so, yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you, Imtiaz bhai. I'll come back to you once again, and let me tell you and share our upcoming things. Like, the whole idea of this Inspiring Bangladesh is to inspire people, and we are launching our own portal, inspiringbangladesh.com, today on this occasion of WYSD, and we'd like to announce the official announcement of our beta launching, through which we believe like we can connect millions of Bangladeshis all around the world, and we are going to launch our app very soon for dedicatedly for the Bangladeshi people. So I'll go back to Mr. Abhishek to know more about skill versus education. Like, as we are going through this kind of thing, like, we need quality education at the same time. We have to maintain good skills. So in this pandemic, how we can balance these two things together? Mr. Abhishek, very shortly.
Yeah. I'll just take 2 minutes, Imran, of yours.
Yes.
The thing is that, like, unfortunately or fortunately, what you say, the panelists, which the panelists, those who are there on the panel, I believe they are all seniors to me, and like whatever syllabus these people have gone through, I have gone through, and the same syllabus the current youth is studying and going on. So there is no such, improvement. There is no such kind of innovation involved in our education system. That is the basic, I think, the biggest pandemic which is actually going through, especially in the Asian countries. If you talk about India, if you talk about Bangladesh, Pakistan, or Sri Lanka, these countries in the Asian subcontinent is still suffering from those older rhythm of education, I would say. So firstly, our education system needs to be revived. And when you talk about skills, like from last, I would say 10 years, I have seen a massive change, and that is too from the individual side, from the entrepreneurs point of view. Right, a lot of people are coming up with the skills center. If you talk about robotics, if you talk about IoT, if you talk about the cloud-based computing and digital marketing, all these things like has taken the market from last, I would say, 10 years itself. So this is the new set of skills which are coming through, which the youth should interact and have the obviously have a skill in their hand. So no matter what pandemic is going or coming, we should be prepared with that. So that is the main thing which we need to do. And as for the youth, those who are listening to me out here, the biggest skill in your life which you can go through is the people skills. Like you meet different kind of people, and if you learn the people skill, that how to meet people and how to interact with them, how to make an impact on them, that is the biggest skill a youth can have. So one side, if you will see, the education system that needs to be revived, which it is our responsibility. Obviously, I don't want to talk, I also want to take some actions about that. And that is why there are a lot of edutech startups in India with whom I am actually in touch with them, and we are trying to revolutionize the whole education system in India, right? As you know, that work from home is the new normal, so we want that education from home should be the new normal in India or in the Asian market. And if you talk about Bangladesh, obviously last month I had a meeting with one of my client. Obviously it was a Zoom meeting. He's from Kolkata, and we are planning very a good plan for Bangladesh and Kolkata and this West Bengal region in terms of edutech startup it is. So, and one of the client is from robotics. So any of you guys want to get connected on me on the robotics side, or maybe say IoT labs, or maybe say something like it, I'm always open to that. Obviously I would like to share my I would like to share my synergies with the people out there in Bangladesh, because if we have the doors always open for each other, that will be really grateful in the future as well. That's
Absolutely.
the only thing.
And this is the era of collaborations. Like, we need to collaborate with each other in different aspects. Like, we need to blend our strengths together so that it will be easier for us to create a collaborative ecosystem. Now I'll go back to Mr. Mostafizur Rahamn. Mustafiz bhai, are you here? Can you hear me? Okay. He can't hear anything. He just sent me a text. So let me take a question. A person named MD Zaman. It's a question for Mr. Faruque. Like, Mr. Zaman asked, like, I'm putting the question into the screen. Like he said, like, all skills development agency need to sit together and develop a way out skills development policy, strategy, and a roadmap. National Skill Development Authority, with the technical help of Skills 21 projects, ILO started to review National Skills Development Policy 2011. I'm very much worried to reach the experts and include their valuable thoughts. So if you kind enough to give your thinking to us for the betterment of skills development, for the betterment of Bangladesh and the country will. সো মিস্টার ফারুক, আপনার যদি কিছু বলার থাকে এটা এই কোয়েশ্চেনটা নিয়ে আর কি, সো হোয়াট উইল বি ইয়োর টেক অন দ্যাট?
Thank you, Mr. Zaman, for your very big question. There are many things actually included in this question.
Right.
I was executive chairman of National Skills Development Authority. This authority has been initiated in 2019. In the last 1 year, we have developed so many things. There is the structure of the organization, policy related to skills development, and the legal instruments. Also, the instruments which is required for quality assurance, developing the standard and certification. So we have developed many things for the NSDA to run, but the policy updating it is still in the process. Actually, I have initiated the revision of the National Skills Development Policy, which have many area of weakness. That I want to focus I want to notice to your attention that the education system is divided into 3 tiers. One is general education, second one is technical and vocational education, and third one is skill training. So the skill training is not education, it is training, absolutely. So this training is completely dependent on a national qualification framework related to skill. And this framework, of course, it will include the traditional skills, ICT skills, and also skills required for the technological advancement, changing business models, recurrent features of the skills market, and also the in the perspective of the fourth industrial revolution. Now the COVID situation has also been included. So NSDA need one qualification framework and the revised National Skills Development Policy, and also required the coordination among the training institutions related to skills. So this area is really in a very bad shape. So government need to play a very concerted effort to make a holistic approach to the skill training institutions, so that they can have the capability to offer the required skill training to the youth. If we say youth, it's not only for youth, they are also for the aged people, those who are still workable. So
Right.
now the challenge is that the lack of experts. Mr. Zaman has highlighted the lack of experts to revise the policy, lack of expert to develop a skill framework, qualification framework, lack of the qualified trainers, skilled trainers. So you cannot avoid the traditional skills. You cannot avoid the welding. You cannot avoid the fashion technology. These are also important skill required by the industries. And also we are coming to have new emerging skills due to the COVID or explored from the ICT sector. So what are the problems in the ICT sector? They are offering huge skills without any certification. They are having the skill freelance. The freelance skill is not saleable. It is not accepted by the industries. Maybe he is engaged in self-employment opportunity. He can avail the self-employment opportunity. He can earn. He can generate incomes for himself, but it is not saleable skill for the industries. You can say that Mr. A is skilled in fashion design because he is actually skilled by himself or practice in his home, or he was taught by his brother or the sister, but he is not certified, his quality is not assured, and he has no documentation that he is fashion designer. So skill market needs this certification. It's a very important document. So government should make a policy and the clear roadmap. That is also in process. I know that the action plan is going to be prepared by the NSDA. But to develop the action plan and to revise the national skill development policy, appropriate experts are not available, those who can give inputs to that policy. Now they are dependent on the experts, on the consultants, those who are coming from abroad. That is also the problem to embed the national demand and other countries' demand. So it is also a very big challenge. And I want to highlight 2 or 3 problems. The government is going to take initiative to embed the skills curriculum with the general education by 2021, but we don't see any action. So it is only declared. And second one is technical and vocational education has lost its glamour, and it is still working with the very traditional skills which have no demand. It's not actually related to the demand of the industries. So we have to restructure. We have to revise the curriculum of the technical and vocational education in our country. And government has separated skill training completely under the NSDA program. So it is also going to be operationalized very slowly. So here are many problems, but the initiatives is fine, but the operationalization in all areas is going very slowly. I am afraid how and when the all efforts will be coming to the light, and we will get the benefit of that programs to fulfilling the demand of national and industrial skills development market. We have many benefits. The persons will have the productivity, and the industry will have the productivity by skills workforces, and the person will have the enhanced income, and also country will get the enhanced remittance. So there are many benefits of throwing the skills development program. So it is only the driver to get the expected economic development of the country. But we don't see that kind of attention to the skills development program for reaping the expected national development. So so we have to actually give attention to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Faruque, for your wonderful remarks. We are coming to the end of this session. Like, as our main audience and the main viewers are the youth, and they are looking for different kinds of guideline and mentoring from our panelists, like the experienced remarks and experienced advice will work for them in different cases, like we have seen in our previous days. So I will come one by one, starting from Mr. Mahdee. What will be your advice for our progressive youth, those who are going to start their career and they are in between, they will choose whatever the entrepreneurship, or they will go for any kinds of job. So what will be your suggestion in terms of their skill development? What will be the ideal advice or ideal thought on them to start their career? Mr. Mahdee, please unmute your mic.
Yeah, sorry for that working from home hazard. But one of the biggest thing, again, I come from the technology side, and I'm just going to be focusing on that. There is a massive amount of opportunity, and that window is very, very big right now. So people to reskill themselves and upskill themselves to get into this market. How do you get into this market? What is the prescriptive formula? Again, you just have to realize what the potential and opportunity is. Almas Bhai just sent out an email, a Facebook post that I have seen from the Financial Times. You see top 100 industry, top 100 companies prospering during the COVID, and it's going to be post-COVID situation. And I'm sure all of you guys have seen that, is massive in IT. So my earnest request, get in IT. It doesn't matter what business you do. You might be manufacturing, you might be farming, you might be doing anything. Your fundamental job is going to be honing into getting that IT skills that is required to enable your business to grow. And that, that's going to be a fundamental thing. And again, we have I think Faruque Bhai said it right. We, from the NRB side, whoever has specialization in something, I might have on the cloud technologies, Imtiaz Bhai might have on some other technologies. Everybody has. The NRBs have severe, great expertise. We need to take all of those expertise and actually pump that into our workforce, because our workforce is very vibrant. You give them something, they absorb and they do it. We are very emotional as well. We went through. We're the only one who had a national language that was we fought for. We had freedom, and we are very emotional. We get things done. So to do that for the youth, we just have to pump that to the right person, like with Almas Bhai, like with Faruque Bhai, like all those people. We have an obligation, meaning I'm not going to tell that the government has this and the people has that. We as an NRB has an obligation to give them the prescriptive guideline and exactly what they need to do. From my perspective, is technology. You got to learn technology, and there is various ways you can do that. And I would say that cloud-based technology, along with emerging concept and emerging elements of those technology, is gonna really blow out our GDP. Not only our youth, not only our job, but also our GDP completely out in a big way.
Right. Thank you, Mahdee Bhai, for your wonderful advice for our youth. I'll go back to Almas Bhai. He is involved with so many initiatives, and we closely follow him in social media. And I know, you have some plans for the youth. And what will be your suggestion for our progressive youth in terms of some of them are developing their startups and start their business in this pandemic? So what will be the ideal things for them to be focused on right now, considering the pandemic situation?
Yeah,
Almas
thank
Bhai.
you. Thank you. Before I start, I'm just very curious. I really wanted to ask Raj Bhai, have you received your bat that you bought in a very fantastic charity auction?
Yeah.
Shakib, have you received it?
So good question. No, I do talk to Shakib Bhai regularly. And he reached out to me, I think maybe last week, and said, I am coming to New York later this month. Let's meet up. But I'm working out of Portugal this summer. Because as you know, in the US, Corona situation is bad, and here it's nicer, and I have some business too. So I said, can't see you hope this month. I'm sorry, but we'll meet somewhere in the world. So yeah, I'm super excited. I've gotten a picture of it, but haven't gotten the bat yet.
Okay.
Great. We would like to see you holding the bat and striking a 6.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and anytime you could come to New York, you're more than welcome to
I will.
hold it.
I will definitely. Anyway, thanks, Imran, for your question. Sorry for that a little bit of digressing from the topic. You see, during this pandemic, any business, actually not during this pandemic, for the next 2 to 3 years or 4 years, for a few years to come, any business that does not require face-to-face interaction, does not require human touch, will prosper. Having said that, I'll give you some example. Online education. You have seen that schools, colleges, universities have started online education, online classes. But now, the teachers need online tools to, take assignments, to evaluate, to proctor the tests, the exams. So there are a lot of other tools and solutions that will be needed, and there's a huge market for that. Not to say to make the online content, the educational content. That is again a huge $1 billion market. So there is a huge opportunity for that. Take for example, delivery services. Anything you want to deliver from one place to another place, because people will not be very much eager to go by themselves. Even if this virus goes away, people will still have that fear, that phobia, So the delivery services will actually excel. Remote consultancy, online consultancy, any kind of online consultancy. We have seen telemedicine, healthcare. It could be, online tutoring. It could be online, teaching you piano, teaching you guitar. Any kind of online tutoring, online consultancy will excel. Virtual event management. You see, you have organized this wonderful fest, this fest online, virtually. we will see more and more of these kinds of online exhibitions, online summits, conferences happening all over the world. And those agencies, those event management companies who will start using technologies, maybe using holograms, maybe using virtual reality, augmented reality, those will become very big business. Virtual event management. When we are talking about AR and VR, people will start requiring AR and VR, putting AR and VR in their e-commerce business. Suppose you want to buy a dress, and if you can see yourself wearing that particular dress or particular makeup, suppose, so you will be, it will be easier for you to choose the right dress or the right makeup. So these technologies, whoever will start using these technologies into their business, into their online business, will also prosper. So in short, any business that does not require face-to-face. Another one is online stockbroking. We were talking about stock. Rajbhai was talking about stock, selling stock. So online stock brokering will also increase, because you do not need to go somewhere. You can just do that with your laptop or with your smartphone. So these kind of businesses will prosper. So entrepreneurs who want to start new business, I would recommend them to explore these areas and come up with innovative solutions. It must be innovative. The solution cannot be a Me Too solution, that a run-of-the-mill solution. It has to be an innovative solution, a new kind of way to solve that problem. Otherwise, your business might not do well. So this is one thing. Another thing I really want to point out before I finish is that there is no other avenue other than acquiring skills to become successful in this new normal era. You have to be skilled. If you do not have that skill, and that skill can be anything, any skill, it has to be, it doesn't have to be only technology, ICT skill. It can be anything. It can be cooking skills. It can be singing skills. It could be play, how do you, if you know how to play an instrument. So any kind of skill, if you are an expert, if you are skilled in that particular area, that will take you a long way. So my advice to all of the youth who might be listening to this program, that this is the right time to start acquiring skills. And I would recommend you, if you are into technology, I would recommend you to learn those skills 4.0. That is the skills that are required for embracing the industry 4.0. Last thing, in Bangladesh, we also need to upskill people and reskill. I'll give you an example. The garment, we know that a study by A2I reveals that by 2030, and now it will be actually before, again, it has, the fourth industrial revolution has accelerated, so it will happen before, that almost 60% of the RMG workers will lose their jobs because of robotics and automation. So what will happen to these workers? Why don't we take them out of the RMG industry and make them, reskill them into another sector, say nursing, caregiving? Because Bangladesh has an acute shortage of nurse. For 1,000 patients, there is one nurse. So there's an acute shortage. So if we can take those workers out from RMG and reskill them in nursing and caregiving, that will do wonders for the whole nation. So number one is, as I said, that you have to be skillful. Number two is, this is the right time to start acquiring these skills and be ready for the post-pandemic era and for the new normal. And number three is, for the nation overall, we not only need to upskill our workers, but also reskill in some cases. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Almas Bhai, for your advice. I'll go back to Abhishek to know more about the situation in India. And we have seen, like, Make My Trip, like those who are dealing with travel and like booking flights, they are into delivery business. So what will be your ideal suggestion for the youth in both India and Bangladesh, how they will pivot themselves and they can focus and they can plan new ideas in these days. And as you are dealing with the funding, so what will be the ideal criteria for the funders when they are looking into funding into some different startups? So your take on that.
Right, Imran. The thing is that we are talking about innovation, right? And if to be very frank with you, innovation is not everybody's cup of tea, right? The youth, those who are listening out here, don't get disappointed, I would say. And my suggestion would be that if you want to have an idea or you want to work for your idea, and if you're not at that level of, because there is no alpha male out there, we have to work for 1% betterment of ourselves first of all, right? Then only we will fall in some place where we can, have an implementation of an idea, or transferring the synergies, or can implement those ideas into kind of innovation which can help the society out there. So for the youth, my advice would be that no matter whatever situation you are in right now, obviously, I would talk about pre-pandemic, or it is about post-pandemic. One should understand that there is always chances of the betterment, and that is the implemented idea on myself. Because if I will look myself, probably 3 or 4 years back when I started funding Adda, right, I started with a commitment that I will improve myself 1% every day. So every single day I keep learning something. I keep connecting with people, and meeting new people, talking about plans, talking to the investors. So this is my commitment to me. So obviously, I know that if I'll keep doing these things with certain amount of time, I will get to a situation where I will be in a situation to help my society, help my country, help my colleagues, and helping the startups also, those who are looking for the investment. And if you talk about the investment side, as you took the name of Make My Trip, obviously, the travel business is totally, on a, I would say, stop out here in India. Very few flights are going, which is obviously interstate flights which are going out there. So people are looking for different opportunities, right? And that is why, if you will see, this pandemic has come up with a kind of opportunity for some of the people. I have seen people, those who are into exports, they are now making PPE kits. People, those who were into medicals, they started manufacturing, N95 masks and all. And today, just because of these innovative people, and the quick decisions makers there in the market, we are actually the number 3 in the manufacturing of PPE kit. So that is how we are serving the whole world right now. So for the youth, my advice would be keep improving yourself, right? No matter what happens, you have to have a good network of the people, get along with right people. It's very important. And if you want to get in touch with me, I will be available at udash, or you can connect with me at abhishek@fundingadda.com. So I'll be more than happy with you. And to the panelists, obviously, I will try to connect with you people on the LinkedIn and whatever IDs you have, because I'm the network specialist. So I never leave an opportunity to network with nice people. And all of you are very enthusiastic and knowledgeable people out there. Thank you, Imran.
Thank you, Abhishek. And it's nice having you in our panel in Bangladesh. So I'll go back to Rajbhai to know his secrets, and like how you will share your inspiration with the young generation in Bangladesh. What will be your advice for them for the post-COVID and the post-COVID business situation for the youth?
So, and a lot of great suggestions and advice, and some of those I had in my notes, so now I cannot share them, but you guys have covered them already. I'll share some big picture thoughts just about success, right? Which applies to not just the normal world. It applies to the post-COVID and pre-COVID worlds. And number one is sit down and think. I think if you think about it, our life has become so complicated and busy. We're running around doing things. When was the last time you sat down just in a quiet place and you thought, right? What do I want to do? And I'm not talking about, watching TV and just thinking. I'm saying just having a real thought process, and then maybe have a brainstorming session and include your one or two close friends that you trust and admire. Ideally, maybe they have different skill set than you. Just all of you talk and think about what something interesting and cool you can do. This is particularly true if you have an entrepreneurial spirit, right? So if you want to go and learn a cool programming language and work for a large technology company, that's great too. But let's say you want to be an entrepreneur. Well, why not just in a disciplined manner every week spend an hour just thinking, brainstorming, right? And as I said in the beginning, the great thing about today's world is that if you have a great idea, maybe you have an idea of a game that you can sell on the on the Android and iOS platform, right? And no one cares if the game comes from Bangladesh or Finland or the US, or maybe you have an idea for software or something else. So that's something. And then secondly, and a number of the panelists have alluded to this, but think long term. So a lot of times we get bogged down in like, what should I do today or tomorrow? But have some vision about long term what you want to do. And as you go toward your goal, things will change. As you know, 96 or 97% of all startups change their product from where they start. But at least have some view about what your long term goal is. There's a very nice article on Medium on thinking long term. You can go to Google and search think long term Elon Musk, something like that, and you'll see the first article that will come up. And so have some views about that. So and this thinking long term applies to, let's say, learning a language, a programming language, right? The first few months is difficult, but over time the knowledge compounds, just like money compounds, right? You're investing and you're getting a 10% return every year, and before you know it, in 7 years the money has doubled. Similarly, knowledge compounds, and so have a long-term view. And number 3 is, and the last one of these big picture comments or advice is, reach out to us, reach out to the people you know and trust. I think we have, and I learned this in the US, I think in Bangladesh we have a mentality where we don't ask for help, or when we do ask for help, it's kind of like at the last stage we go and say, hey, help me get a job. Don't do that. Come to me 2 years before that and say, I want to do XYZ. I want to see myself in 2-3 years here. What should I do so that in 2-3 years I can come to you and you will, we can work together, right? So think long term, and then go and ask people for advice, but ideally not an advice about what to do for tomorrow, but a long-term advice. That's all from my end.
Thank you, Rajbhai, for your wonderful advice. And I think exactly. Thank you, Rajbhai. And those who will see later, they can learn and know so many insights about this whole panel discussion. So I'll end this panel with the closing remarks from Mr. Faruque, and to know more his insights and his overview on the skills development for upcoming days for our Bangladeshi youth generation. So, Mr. Faruque.
Thank you. We have learned many things from the panelists. And at the end of the discussion,
exactly,
I want to just focusing on the preparation of the government to make a revolutionary changes in the skilled development market. Actually, we need a revolution. It's not the piecemeal work. It's not the segment of activities by so and so, but it's a very big issue, and it's a concerted issue, and we need a paradigm shift with a big revolution. So everyone should think on skill, because it is the main driver to have the economic development of the country. So we need the strength of the institutions, those who are providing the skills training. We need the institutional support, financial support from the government, and the things we have discussed earlier, that the apprenticeship and recognition of prior learning or reskilling, upskilling, all the programs are actually we have in the policy, but it's not properly in implementation. So at the moment, we need the facilitation of the accreditation, occupational standard, uniform training curriculum, development of learning material, assessment, and the measures for mutual recognition. This is a very important point. The recognition of the Bangladesh certification by the other countries. The market, actually, we have the external market. So we have to provide a certification which is accepted by the other countries' market. So it needs the understanding between two governments, so that the workforces, those who are skilled, will be accepted by the other countries. And we have to explore the necessity of the skills, that some new emerging skills are discussed in today's discussion. That is nursing, caregiving. This is actually COVID situation emerged new skills. So one thing I want to point out, that the ICT-based industries are really now in a single platform. The ICT ministries would create such an environment, so all the industries related to ICT, they are coming, they are discussing with the policymakers, they are suggesting, and whatever the ICT ministry is doing, they are doing jointly with the private sector institutions. But it is not happened in other industries. Other industries are very much maintaining distance with the skill providers institutions and also the regulatory institutions. So actually, I will suggest the industries to come up with proper suggestion and to activate the necessary activities within the platform. Just by the by, I want to highlight the necessity of the proper infrastructure to shift our skill market to the ICT-based market. So one thing, all the institutions, the schools, colleges, and universities are now having the virtual classroom. But government should think that a single platform for whole educational institutions. So the platform is created, it's a huge cost involvement for creating one uniform IT infrastructure for offering the virtual class facilities to the students. So if government create one platform and all the institutions can get a link to that platform, and the nursing, that one thing is capacity. Capacity of the institutions are also very serious things now we find. So here ICT industries and the educational institutions and the government should think over to create a uniform platform for the education institutions. So in a nutshell, I want to highlight that the need of education with skill curricula and robust industries link is required at the moment, and the vibration in technical and vocational education, which actually lost the glamour, and we need all skill training within the qualification framework and demand-based. Demand of the industries is main thing. So these are the suggestions I have to activate all the regulatory institutions, startup company, human resources development company, providing the support, technical and the financial support to the institutions, and to make a revolutionary events in our country for having proper skilled nation, skilled youth to reap a very nice economic development in the country. Thank you.
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। আসলে আজকের আলোচনাটা খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ ছিল এই জন্য যে অনেকেই জানতে চেয়েছিল যে লাইক আমরা আসলে কিভাবে সাস্টেইনেবল ওয়েতে কোভিড পরবর্তী সময় বিজনেসকে পরিচালনা করতে পারি। সো আপনাদের খুবই মূল্যবান বক্তব্য তাদেরকে আসলে অনুপ্রাণিত করবে, এবং ইন্সপায়ারিং বাংলাদেশের মূল লক্ষ্য হলো create an inspiring community. We have launched our website inspiringbangladesh.com today on this occasion of WYSD and Bangladesh Youth Skills Fest. এবং আমরা চাই যে এখানে we can create an inspiring community, those who will brand Bangladesh, and at the same time we will share our success and we will share our inspirations with each other. Right now in different social media there are full of negativity and stuff which is like demoralizing people, and at the same time it creates negativity in the society. So the main idea of this whole platform, and we are going to launch our app eventually in next month, so it's to inspire people. It's nice having everyone together in this panel, and we're looking forward to your support and collaborations in future. Anything you want to add, Mr. Mahdee, in your closing remarks? We will end with your speech this panel. Yeah.
Thank you. First and foremost, I think the youth in Bangladesh is amazing. They can do anything, they can break any barrier. Given all our limitations, what we have done, the resiliency of this population is unbelievable. So I think that compare none, bar none, so that we already at that bar. So if you ask me that what is a call to action, if I learn, and I have learned significantly from this group of panelists, from policy perspective, we have a policy. And the government is really intentional about making this youth very productive. We learn from, from the basis perspective, from the IT industry perspective, we actually want to get them to the right type of skills, especially empowering them as well. Then we act from the NRB side, myself and MPHY, we can provide some of the guidance, what we see, the reality perspective, what the global industry needs, and obviously the reason for that is very important. All this youth, we just have to put it in the track. I think they can run faster than what we could even imagine, and we have shown that over and over. So what is the call to action? Reach early. This is a massive disruptive opportunity, in my opinion, than anything else. This is the time we can upskill, reskill, and we can change our course ourselves. The training materials are already available, and it's so overwhelming, sometimes people get lost. It's that much material. But I think that if we put people on a pedestal, they can actually go towards the right direction. So, and again, our government is providing a lot of funding for education. It's not available in a lot of countries, maybe some developing countries available. We have a skill-based development mechanism versus education. We can blame everybody. The reality is that that's not important. It's on to us, up to us, actually, to develop ourselves. So my call to action for any youth is that this is the time to really prosper. Know yourself, know thyself, know yourself. Educate yourself, learn how to learn. Actually, we need to learn how to learn. We need to re-educate ourselves and upskill ourselves. Get to the latest and best trend of technology. All of those are publicly available. All of those are openly available. You go about it, and there is a lot of other support gonna pour in. And I would call also on myself and all the non-resident Bangladeshis, come forward. You got unbelievable skills. You are the best in the industry, and I see that everywhere. And if we contribute one positive item, you talk about inspiration, it's going to be shower of inspiration. Everything is going to bloom like there is no tomorrow. With that, I really wanted to thank Imran to set it up. I think this is a fabulous and fantastic platform, this inspirational platform, because the youth, if you empower them, they will go, they will always bloom. Thank you for that again. And I also wanted to give my gratitude to every panelist. Every one of them, I already look like, I know Almas for a very long time, but every one of them, it feels to me that I already know you from heart and soul. Thank you very much.
থ্যাংক ইউ এভরিওয়ান ফর ইয়োর টাইম, এবং আপনাদের সবাইকে পেয়ে খুব ভালো লাগলো, এবং সামনের যে সময়গুলো আসবে আমরা আশা করি আপনাদেরকে পাবো, কারণ আমাদের যে প্ল্যাটফর্মটা আমরা চাচ্ছি যে এই বছরের মধ্যে উই ক্যান রিচ মিলিয়ন্স, 10 লক্ষ বাংলাদেশি ভাষাভাষী মানুষদেরকে আমরা আমাদের এই প্ল্যাটফর্মে নিয়ে আসবো, সো দ্যাট উই ক্যান শেয়ার আওয়ার পজিটিভ থটস, সো দ্যাট উই ক্যান ক্রিয়েট অ্যান ইন্সপায়ারিং কমিউনিটি। কারণ আমরা যেটা দেখছি এখনকার যে সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া, ওইখানে অনেক যে জিনিসগুলো হচ্ছে সেগুলোতে মানুষের mental health is greatly affected. So we are more focusing into creating more positive and impactful community for Bangladesh, which will brand Bangladesh eventually. With this note, we are closing Bangladesh Youth Skills Fest 2020, and we hope we will come back again with more inspiration and with everyone, those who are thinking together in more positive way. Thank you everyone, and hope to see you all shortly. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Imran. Best of luck.